It'll be more real when we're.
Well, we are live.
Hi.
Scott.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Mini JCW team. We are live again after 4-month break before the race season started again.
Feels like it was just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 5 months.
5 months. Oh, there's Scott.
Scott's
There he
in
is.
your jail. What's up,
What's
Scott?
up, Scott?
I need to work on my background. You guys have better backgrounds.
I
That looks
just
good.
used my dad's office. That's the only reason I got this. So
We you got the rookie background there, Scott.
Yeah, we got to fill it with some trophies here soon.
just do that.
Yeah,
Hang your shirt on the wall. There
No,
we go.
wait a minute. You got a trophy.
I do.
Thunder Hill one.
Where's
Just
the,
right over there.
the plaque. Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, anyway, while we're waiting for Scott to come back, we are live again. 2024 season has started. We're with the Mini JCW team. We got Louis Perocarpi, we got Cristian Perocarpi, PJ Groenke, Clayton Williams, and our newest driver, Scott Thomson.
Hello.
And if you all had watched the race and the car looked familiar, it's because it's Clay's old car, but it's now the number 66, running around the track with that beautiful red roof. Definitely stands out among all the other cars on the track. It's just
Bullet.
A JCW Bullet. It's marks the car. That's right. All the cars have names now. That car is Bullet.
I could have used a power up.
And in true JCW fashion, it has a red roof now, so everyone can spot it going around the track.
That is true.
Very true. Well, how is everyone doing? Good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah. I
Awesome.
feel like I'm still at the racetrack, just turning bolts and cleaning cars and loading.
How's
and
Christian's
loading
engine
trailers.
coming?
What's that?
How's Christian's engine coming?
All done.
It's
The car is completed now, so we'll see.
it's
Will
right.
you get a chance to get a test in? Well, Sebring has a test day.
Yeah, I'm working, and then my pay for working is a test day at our local track. So I get one test day right before Sebring to make sure everything's good to go.
On Putnam?
Yeah, yep.
Nice. Is that a good track?
Yeah, it's really fun. I wish they could host events, but there's reasons behind why they don't. But it's a lot of fun. It's not the biggest track, but it has a good combination of corners and a long front straight and a lot of sweepers and a little bit of elevation change. Not much because it's Indiana, but enough.
Yeah, it's got some. It's fun. It's a club, right? So it's members and
it's beautiful though.
gorgeous and do a great job.
There's a reason that they run it the way they do, and that's why they're so successful too.
Yeah, it's been around for a while here in Indiana, and it's it's gorgeous, and it's a membership club now.
Memberships weren't too bad, actually. I looked at it once. It wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, no, it's reasonable compared to
well worth the money. Also, well worth the money, and the people that run it are great. And good.
And
track.
if you go out, Christian, would you be like, is it like playing a country club golf course at Wednesday at 1:00? You'd have the place to yourself?
Kinda. I don't really know. So I'm not a member, right? But I think they're members. They get there's dedicated days for the members to go, and it's usually pretty open. I think it's like from open to close. It's kind of like a kart track in a way. Like I say, hey, it's open at noon until 5. You get to run however long you want to run, and then usually it's open before that, and then they have lunch in between, and they serve you lunch and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming it's members only, is what you were saying, but
yeah, you can pay a price when you're not a member, also to do a test day, and then you can rent the track out for X amount of dollars. Also,
for any of our subscribers wondering, we're talking about, was it Putnam?
Putnam Park.
Yeah, Putnam Park.
Putnam Park. Okay.
And
just so you guys know, we are live in Australia.
Live in Australia.
Yes.
Wow.
Hi, Simon. from Australia.
Oh, hi,
Australia.
Simon. Long time.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. Simon
Well,
is a good buddy of mine that I met. Man, I can't remember now, but it was in our early Champ Car days, and he owned WRX Rally School
Wow.
experience in Australia. So one of my trips there, one of my first trips to Australia, we went there for a day. We became buddies, and every year we would he would host us every time we got there the first day, and spend a day driving his rally cars. And I brought a bunch of guys. Normally it was mechanics, or then one year I brought, I think, 10 kart drivers: Vassar, Damata, Timo Glock, Catherine Legg. Man, it was Bourdais, and so we've had a great time and a great friendship. So I think Simon's listening. So hi, Simon, Trace. I hope you guys are doing well down there.
Well, for any of you all who are not new to us, you might be wondering who the unfamiliar face is down in the corner. That is Scott Thomson. He is our newest driver, driving the number 66 JCW Pro TC. And Scott, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the fans a little bit about what you do, what got you into the racing with the team.
Just the desire to create fans. No. So I started racing last year with Clay in the Spec Miata class. We did a few races at Sonoma and one at Thunderhill. And then we all together did 25 hours of Thunderhill in the Mini that I'm driving this year. And just wanted to finally get around to racing. It's been a long-held desire of mine, and just never really gave myself the permission to take the time to do it. And it finally has kind of come to that point where either you're going to do it or you're not. So I decided to do it and hooked up with these guys, and it's been a fantastic ride so far. Great team, great engineers, great cars, just having a lot of fun out there.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. And you were looking pretty good. You were looking pretty good out there. So heading on into Sebring, I'm sure you're going to what podium?
Well, we just go out there and take each turn. That's the best you can do. It's interestingly, one of the things I've learned so far is you can't make up a corner. You got to just do it as best as you can and move on to the next one. And I'd like to think we're gonna get in the pack, and once we're in the pack, it'll change a lot.
Well, you definitely look like you were having fun. That's the important thing right there.
It
So,
was.
yeah. Well, PJ,
Yes, sir.
complete sweep of the weekend for TCA. That is phenomenal. First place. He won both races. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, that was great. Long time coming. Definitely something we knew we could do with this team, and that's the reason that I joined the Mini JCW team. The car was perfect. The new tarmac at Sonoma was amazing. It was just fun. It was relaxing. It was amazing that I had one of my business partners there to enjoy that and to see that live. He was actually at Utah Motorsports Campus to see my first win in Pirelli World Challenge before it was SRO TC America. So for him to be there and see me sweep the weekend for the first time in the TCA class, and to do it with Mini USA and a Mini JCW, it was just the perfect start to the season. And to bring home the full points score and be leading the championship, not only driver, but team, which is also very important to us, it couldn't have started off better. So it was absolutely incredible and very lucky and fortunate to be able to do that.
Well,
Is it now your favorite course?
No, because I swept the last two races at Laguna Seca to win the championship. So that will always have a special place in my heart. Mosport is always home. So up until this weekend, Sonoma has hated me, I say. Because I've never stepped on that podium there. I've been close, battled through it. Fourth place in both races last year. Got held up a little bit by outside factors, but yeah, that was the right way to do it if you're going to touch that podium at that racetrack for the first time.
I think your bad luck transferred to me, PJ.
No, Christian,
Yeah.
no, not
I
at
think
all.
it did.
That was just like a series of unfortunate events, and that's behind you. Don't even think about that, Christian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask Christian about that. I don't know if we should talk about it now. What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
That's
I
fine.
mean,
Fine.
it's no, you know, it happens, right? Like, we had in the first, you know, the only practice session, right? We had to deal with the issues at the track. For the fans that don't know, the track got repaved over the winter. You know, when we went out and testing on the Wednesday, by the end of the day, the track had deteriorated and the new asphalt was coming apart or whatever. You know, the track and the series did a great job, really, if you think about it, because, I mean, you know, first the weather was cold and rainy, you know, so that was a huge obstacle for these guys that, you know, to perform what they did, the work they did. I think it was 4 or 5 corners. They picked up all the new asphalt in the corners completely. We're back down to the old track and repaved those corners. And we went racing. They moved the schedule a little bit, so we lost, you know, our practice times, but we got our race in. I don't think we had any issues with the track, and, you know, a great outcome overall for the team. Scott completed his first pro race, both races, no problem. You know, I think Scott's going to do a great job through the season. I think we all, and I Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you can get up there, right? So, you know, just when Scott and I met, and Scott came to Indy and came and toured the shop, the old shop, you know, when he was leaving, he said, well, I hope you don't mind if we just cruise around the back. You know, I'm like, well, I said, don't be surprised if you find yourself, you know, working your way up to the front. And after this first weekend, I don't know, you made several seconds gains from the start to the end. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, you were like, you know, I'm happy, but not satisfied. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Scott was too fast. That's why the track came up, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
that or too heavy.
I think it was too fast.
No, yeah, no, we'll be right in there.
Yeah, I believe so too. You know, we had a great time at Thunderhill in November. I think, Scott, you know, we had several hours each in the car. That was a lot of fun. You know, I think it was about 2 to 3 hours into the race, and I think we talked about this. I don't know. Did we have a live stream after Thunderhill?
We did live stream at Thunderhill.
Yeah, so-
After.
I don't think so.
I don't
We
think
never had a
I thought we
download.
did a very
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No.
But-
Scott would have been
But
part of that.
we burnt the throwout bearing, and we couldn't. You know, the clutch was done hour 3 of 25, and we ended up, we didn't know what it was. We thought maybe it was a gearbox issue at that moment, and then we figured out that we can do most of the track in 4th gear. So we just powered through the next 23 hours in 4th gear mainly, you know, and yeah, we were still fast, crazy enough in 1 gear. And
I think we were faster in the 1 gear than using all the other gears.
I don't know. I think the fast time at the end was very close to qualifying, or maybe better. But
No, I think we went faster than qualifying, right?
yeah,
Clay?
I don't know, but
I don't
it
remember.
doesn't really matter. But we had a great time. The car held up. We ran in 1 gear. You know, we were racing the Honda Type R's that came from the factory, and they had like 350 horsepower, and we were still at our TC power at 300 and in 4th gear. And I had a blast in the middle of the night racing those guys. You know, the spoon Honda there, you know, we went at it. I think I lapped those guys in the middle of the night, made up a couple laps on those guys. It was a blast. You know, we had a great time, and Scott had a great time too. And he's got his first he's got his first trophy, third place for a 25-hour endurance race, right? There you go.
There you go.
I will tell you, the car's a lot more fun on slicks than the street tires.
Yes.
Yes, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more fun.
So yeah, we've had a great time, and again, going back to Sonoma, the track did a great job in getting it fixed, and losing minimal track time. I mean, we lost a test day or one full test day and a couple of practices, but we got it in. Scott got his 2 races with minimal practice time and completed his 2 races. No scratches on the car, all 4 wheels on it. We rolled them in. They're ready to go for Sebring. And PJ wins his 2 races, and then Cristian in the short practice qualifying that we had an unusual engine failure. Cylinder number 3, we think a rod or something went. We don't know. We haven't taken the engine apart. We're not going to. It doesn't matter. We've been racing this platform, these engines, for 10 years in IMSA and SRO, and this is the first. We've raced 3 cars every weekend for 9 years. So you do the math. How many races have those been? Does that add up to? And this was a real first and only engine failure, that wasn't caused by a broken radiator or a crash, and so yeah, we don't know. And unfortunately, amazing, we had 4 techs, mini techs, which we have every weekend, 2 for Hawaii, right?
Love that.
Hopefully they're watching. I
Love
texted
it.
them, so hopefully they're watching.
I managed to pull off the impossible.
Yeah, I mean, they were adamant that they were going to get the car done before the start of the race, and at one point I thought maybe, unfortunately we didn't have a dressed spare engine. If we had the engine dressed, for sure we would have made the start of the race, and we didn't. So anyway, those guys did a great job. They came from super far away. I was a little worried at the beginning because they showed up on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden it's raining, the track's broken. We watched construction and asphalt. Now we know how they make the highways, So and so I was worried about those guys more than anything. It's like, oh man, we got these guys from Hawaii, and they're gonna go home and we're not gonna race, So it was great job by the track to get it done, and surprisingly maybe, and those guys got to do an engine change in a hurry and then second race, Cristian started last. By halfway through the first lap, he was up to 4th, and that's all he had, right? So, that's where we're at. We don't have any more speed, but we knew. I literally had told the guys that I was talking to from the series that I expect Cristian to be racing with Sally, because that's where we're at. That's all we're allowed to have. So that's where we're at. So
Are the BOPs set for the season?
No, they
No.
change it every weekend, but we don't get much of anything, very little. I mean, it's been our biggest challenge, right? It's not really the competition. It's just, we just don't have anything. If it wasn't that we have good drivers, that we would, we'd just be hanging in the back. So, that's where we're at. And again, we knew it. So no surprises. The only surprise was the unexpected engine failure, and you guys finished exactly where, I expected you guys to finish. So good weekend.
And Lou, will you? So you said you haven't taken it apart. Will you take it apart, or is it just like that engine's just toast?
Well, the engine's just, I mean, it's got, the oil pan has a little pinhole from, I guess, the broken connecting rod. I'm assuming it's a connecting rod. Maybe I'll take the oil pan off just to verify that was what happened, whether it was a spun bearing that ended up breaking the rod, or did the rod break? I don't know. It's the first one in 9 years after hundreds of races between 3 cars every weekend. So the engine was new. I don't remember when it was new. When we built the car, Cristian, do you remember? Yeah.
Yeah, the engine was new. Just going back to the competition is pretty stacked now with everybody's in a decent car, right? So it's not going to be an easy year, but we'll be back up front at Sebring. Yeah, we were making moves on the first lap, which was fun, but we kind of just settled in there, and then we're trying to make sure we could finish the race. We had some other problems also that came up, but we'll be back for Sebring. We ran good there in race 2, so I'm confident. We should have put it on pole last year if there wasn't a red flag in quali, but it is what it is, and we'll come back swinging.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Yeah,
Clay,
we know where we're at with the data. The data shows it is what it is. That's where they want us to be.
Yeah. So Clay, I know it was a different vantage point for you this race, coaching this year, rather than being behind the wheel. I could tell that seemed awkward for you. I know you're used to being behind the wheel, going around the track.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a different perspective. I mean, I've been driving with these guys for, I don't know, 3 years now, 3 years in a row, especially at Sonoma. So, yeah, it was a little different, but still had a good time. It's a great time hanging out with all these guys. And, it's Scott's first season. So my biggest thing is to help him get up to speed as best we can. So, and make sure he has a good time. And, I think we did exactly that at Sonoma. So there's no reason that, as Lewis said, as the season goes on, he's going to be up in the fight, even pushing on Christian's back bumper there towards the end of the season. So
There you go.
Age before beauty.
exactly.
Yeah, and just to add to Clay coaching, I mean, we're always looking for the next program, and so I'm sure as we put things together and opportunities come up, Clay and Cristian will be in whatever's next.
Glad to hear that. So what do we have coming up? So Sebring's the next race.
Yep.
Sebring's the next race.
Yeah. Scott's car is almost done. You can see it up here. Yeah. And then Christian's on the next lift over, and Christian's is, I think, done. I think Christian's car is completely done, and Nevin was working on PJ's car today, so I think PJ's car is almost done too. So we're almost done for Sebring. Now we have to be done like the next 2 races, are pretty. They're not back to back. There's a weekend in between, but we go from Sebring to Coda. But on the same time, we're running another program that's in Laguna. So the truck will have to leave for Sebring, swap loads, get to Laguna, race there. The minis will be in Texas right after Sebring, waiting for the truck to come back from Laguna, and then we'll swap loads, potentially prep cars in Texas, and then head to Coda. So quite a logistical nightmare. I've almost done buying plane tickets for everybody for 3 weekends, because I can't do any logistical or any tickets while I'm gone. So I've literally spent the last 3 days, trying to get everybody at the airport at the right time, and rental cars, and 2 different groups, 2 different series, 3 weekends. It's been quite a job, to be honest with you.
Have fun with that. That's all I can say.
What do you do to the cars between races?
So, I mean, depending on the race. So before we went to the first race, they had all new fluids, gearbox, oil. So we do them like every other race weekend. So basically, we'll do a nut and bolt. We will, depending if it needs brakes or not, we'll put new brakes. Or we don't start the weekend on new brakes. We put new brakes right before the race. So we'll just make sure it's got good brake pads for practice. We'll probably put them on the setup pad and get a set down number, and then Rob will I communicate with Rob daily, hourly, even though he's in Colorado, and I'll send him the numbers. We also wait a little bit closer to load day, because if there is a BOP change, whether it's weight, normally weight or ride heights, then we'll make those changes here at the shop. The racetrack is, we used to put the setup pad at the racetrack, but it's just too difficult. So we make sure they're properly set up here at the shop, and then we go through tech and we get the numbers from tech, so we know if their scales are off or not. Now, it doesn't matter if their scales are off or not, because that's the law, right? So we just need to make sure that we're legal to their numbers and minimum weight. Normally between their scales and our scales, there's a couple pounds different. We keep track of that. We've had an issue with ride height between their tools and our tools through the past couple of seasons, actually the last 2 years. So that's been a little bit of a pain, because we set them up at our ride heights and same tools we've been using for 10 years. And all of a sudden, we get to the racetrack and they're 5-10 mil off, and nothing makes sense. Or a lot of times, we check after a race, and if it's right where we want it to be, we don't make any adjustments. And then we go to the next race and it's 10 mil off. And we're like, wait a minute, we didn't even touch the car. And, people claim that, well, your spring rate, the car is lower or whatever. It bounced from Indianapolis to Sebring on the truck, so it's going to be lower. But that doesn't happen, right? That would be with junk springs and poor, mainly springs. And we have high quality race parts, and those don't sag. If that was the case, then we would have a car that you couldn't set up, right?
No.
So
Or drive.
It'd be undrivable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We just got to keep double checking our numbers, make sure that we're legal when it comes to ride heights and weights with the BOP, and then be legal, and then make sure we know where we're at. Hey, Rick, I see Rick and Jen. I met them at Daytona 2016, I believe. I gave Jen a lap around Daytona. Rick is a police officer, so hi, Rick.
I'm just popping in comments as we're talking. We also have Nate popped in here. BOP
Nate!
has always been our biggest competitor.
Yeah, Nate would know. Nate.
Yeah, Nate. That must be Nate Nornberg. So Nate drove for us for many years in IMSA and in SRO.
Yeah.
His last race, he won it. He won it at Vegas, before he decided to stay home with new babies. And so yeah, his last pro race, he won it. I think it's his first career win in IMSA or SRO. Yeah, so
wow.
Looking forward to having him back at some point when the kids get bigger, I guess. But he's got quite a few years still to wait.
Did you, Lou? Did you see that prior question?
No.
Which one was it?
Rick and Jen asked if you're going to have the normal car setup for Sebring.
Yeah. So we'll be there. There it is. Usual setup at yeah. Well, it'll be very similar to what we do in IMSA or in SRO. So yeah, we'll be at we'll have the truck there, the awning. Cristian, I think we most likely, we think we're getting the new hot lap car delivered. So Cristian will be driving that. So
I don't know if we're doing hot laps, so we'll see.
I thought we were, but okay. I don't know.
I don't know if I really want to take the car to Sebring and do hot laps and then try to drive it 20 hours back home. So
How about Coda?
Coda, I'm driving the car there by myself to go do hot laps because I know That was a
Yeah.
fan favorite last year, and we had a bunch of people this year that want to come out to COTA to do that. And then VAR, Road America, Barber's going to be a lot of fun. Indy's a lot of fun because my family's in Indy, so I get to take them around. I got to take your dad for a hot lap, Zach, last year at VAR, so that was.
Yeah. I think he said you scared him.
Yeah, he looked a little. I'm not saying he was a little bit scared, but I wasn't going slow. So
Well, it's fun. It's funny for a guy who flew attack helicopters in the
Yeah,
Army.
I was going to say that doesn't make sense considering what he did.
yeah, and I guess when you're in a street car, yeah, it's a mini and it's good on brakes and it does everything it should. But I guess when you're in a street car going down the back straight at VAR and you're doing 130 into the corner, I think anybody would get a little bit worried. So
Well, actually, I've gotten used to you guys when I ride with you guys for the hot laps. I kind of just sit there and go, okay, he knows what he's doing.
yeah, COTA
doesn't
it
right
was cool though to run the Clubman last year because it had in most of the corners very similar corner speed to the TC cars, so it was a good representation of what the cars are able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you'll do hot laps in Sebring. The car is being delivered in Sebring, so it could be.
Yeah,
So
that'll be fun.
just be
I guess I would
careful with it so you can make it home.
even a little bit more.
Zach, is this a good time to segue to your golf cart ride along, or is that a different
Ooh,
time?
yes. Can we cut it?
Okay,
Where's the
so
pictures?
Golf
to
cart
put this
video.
to get the story out there of what exactly happened, we were doing a track walk, and by track walk,
I think a picture is worth 1,000 words.
No, I think
Yes.
you don't even have to explain it.
I
Just show
think
the
Just put the
video.
pictures,
the
Zach.
evidence.
Just show it.
I
Just
don't have
show
the
it.
picture here. I have the video.
Okay,
Rip the
let's
Band-Aid
Oh
off.
my
you're
god.
this is from Ethan's point of view.
Jesus.
Clay is driving for everybody to know.
And
Can
Oh,
you
so
do
let me
it?
ride
Like,
along.
when the feet were completely
Zach,
broken?
you got to play it again. People didn't get they weren't sure what was happening until they saw
Can you
somebody
zoom
on
it
the
in?
floor. Keep an eye on the golf cart in the front there.
in the back of the golf cart.
Well, now it's in the back.
And he's on the
There you
ground.
go.
Oh my God.
That was probably the highlight of my weekend, to be honest. Sorry, Zach.
That was
That
Hey,
was
I have
literally the highlight
video.
of-
I have video of you almost coming off the pit cart, coming around a corner.
Not a competition.
No,
Zach. How's
Not
your
a
finger?
competition.
I think
Except,
Clay and I were
except I
both
fell off the golf
Held
cart.
my
You didn't
breath.
fall off the pit cart. So
Yeah. Well, we've had a good laugh with it, Zach. You're a true sport. So
I think Barry asked me how the track was, and I said it's pretty solid.
yeah. At least you were testing the surface for all of us.
Yeah, you were,
Yeah,
I wasn't
you were
falling off the
testing
golf
it
cart. I
out.
was doing surface testing.
That's what you should call it, surface testing. You better
Someone
be careful.
Only a fiction.
stopped him, haha, was that a bounce off the road? Maybe.
yeah, it bounced hard.
Jesus.
If he had zoomed in, you would have saw his hat. Actually, when he hit the ground,
Yeah,
that hat did at
Yeah.
least 3 flips.
Yep.
Almost landed back on his head. It's-
No, that's not the
Pretty
first time I've fallen off a golf cart either, and it not the first time it was mini related either. So
At least you're okay and you're in one piece and you didn't have to go to the hospital. That's all
See,
that matters.
PJ, I think you need to come back on our track walks with the golf cart.
No,
Clearly,
I'm okay. Thank you.
I think next time I'll send my
You're missing
camera
out.
around the track instead of myself.
Yeah, just clip it onto the golf cart.
I don't think I went around Sonoma last
So
time.
that's why you require seatbelts for the ride along.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's
That's
why
why
I just,
I'll
that's why I just need to hold on and not let go of anything when I'm.
No, no, no. We'll strap you in with ratchet straps.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Multiple ratchet straps.
Yeah.
Just tie me onto the golf cart. We'll be good.
Duct tape.
So fun.
Yeah.
Got to tie down those loads.
Yeah, fun stuff. Comments all sorts of places. Sean Wood, Zach, how is the turbo issue coming along? Turbo's fixed, so turbo's replaced, I should say. So now I got to figure out the situation with my wheels.
yeah,
Now,
I think,
that's on your personal car, Zach.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have Zach enter a race with his personal car now that he's got this new turbo.
It's
I think-
pretty good. It's the new turbo is
Help
actually
the
pretty
TCA
nice.
field. He'll help the TCA field out.
It is pretty nice. I think it's actually close to a GP3 turbo.
Nice.
So it is
That's
nice.
cool.
We got a comment. Aloha. I don't know her. I don't know who they are.
Doesn't matter. Aloha right back at you.
Yeah, aloha.
Yeah.
Must be somebody we know. But so before we wrap up for the evening, Clay, what do you got going on before the next race? And
Nothing
I'm gonna ask
much.
everybody this question. So
Nothing much. A lot of sim sessions with Scott. Get him up to speed at Sebring. It's his first time going there, so it's going to be quite a bit of sim time. That's pretty much all I got going on.
Cristian, what about you?
Working on. I got to go be a mechanic at the go-kart track on Saturday, so that's a little bit of fun, I guess. Back to the roots. Yeah, and just prepping. I guess Sebring's coming up pretty soon, so making sure the car's loaded and
A couple of weeks.
school and all my other personal
Yeah.
stuff I have going on.
PJ, what about you?
I am in the midst of winter tire to summer tire changeover at work at my other full-time job as a service consultant. So it's a fun time of the year, but also very stressful. And just getting ready to get back in the car and kick everyone's ass at Sebring again. And luckily and thankfully, Lewis and Cristian, everyone, they look after everything on the car and make sure we're ready to do that. And I can't thank them enough. So I'm ready. It's gonna be fun.
Well, your car's almost ready.
I know, thank you. I never worry about that. Yeah, I know.
Right next to my desk.
Yeah. And that's
How
why
do your customers?
Huh?
Hey PJ, how do your customers ferry their tires back and forth? I'm asking for a friend.
Oh, for work? A lot of them,
Yeah.
well, we've got storage, so we offer storage for a lot of the customers. And then other customers that have SUVs, they've got space at home, they'll load them in the back of the car and then bring them home and unload them themselves. So we're all set up. We look after everyone properly.
My local dealer does not have storage.
Well, they should look into that because it's a very good business. We don't do it ourselves. We contract out to another company, which, funny enough, the owner was the service manager at a dealership I used to work at. So I worked for him, and then he just had enough of the dealership scene and started his own business. And I kind of wish I would have thought of it.
I would imagine it would be a decent business.
Yeah. A lot of logistics involved in coordination, but you got a brain and use it. It's not rocket science.
And what kind of cost is that, the storage for tires? It's wheels and tires, or are you dismounting the tires?
Well, it depends. We'll do both. So we store whatever. So if it's tires off of wheels or a wheel set, we'll store it. Well, we don't store it. Tire Spot stores it for us, but it doesn't matter. It's $199 a season. So, oh Jesus, $390. I can't do math. Whatever that is, times 2 a year. So it's not bad. I mean, if you think about the convenience factor of it, and not having to lug wheel, as you guys know, OEM wheels on SUVs are bloody heavy. So it's just a convenience thing. It's here, I'm bringing my car, put on my wheels or tires. I'll come get my car when it's done, and you're done.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yes.
I think
I've got a wealth of knowledge up here.
Do it now. I think most do.
Yeah.
Higher end products. Porsche, W, and Mini, and like that.
Yeah, just depends on the individual dealerships and stores.
Yeah.
My frustration is that I live in a place where the temperature swings can be like 30 degrees in a day. So you like might get a 45 degree morning and a 75 degree afternoon. So you're when do you make the switch from winter to summer and summer to winter? Because
somewhere between June and August.
I'm already thinking about it because it's already, I've got a 75 degree, day coming up, but then it could drop to 55.
Yeah. general rule of thumb is, and I don't know what this is in, I think US is Fahrenheit, Celsius, 7 degrees. When the daily average temperature gets to be that, yeah, I can see you doing the math. I'm not going to do that. I can't. That's a general rule of thumb. Like, we've had a lot of people changing over right now, but we're going to have a low of 0 and possibly frost overnight. Yeah, see, that's Nate. Yes, I understand. But the thing is, you also have to know how to drive when you say cold is easy to deal with, because summer tires on pavement that has 0 grip, different story.
Well, you gotta try summer tires in the winter. That was my struggle for the last 2 years.
Yeah, have
I've
fun
done
with
it once.
That's not a bright idea.
No, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah, so it depends, right? Because if you think about it, if you're getting lows of 0 at night, and we're going completely off topic right now, the ground still hasn't absorbed any of the temperature from the daytime highs, so the ground is still cold. So if you wait for it to be on average 7 degrees Celsius or above, then the ground has had time to build up temperature, and then you should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that concludes our discussion on when to swap
Yeah.
from summer tires to winter tires to summer tires. So
Or like Nate says,
Yeah.
there's no more snow.
when there's no more snow, what if you live in the mountains in Colorado though?
Hang on for dear life.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for watching. Stick around for a few minutes after the live stream, obviously, and then we'll wrap up. But yeah, someone just popped in. Mileage check, Zach. Where are you on your beginning of the season? I don't know. I've lost track. Oh, it's still at 68,000 miles. I didn't drive my car to California. It was in the shop. Cold tires and cold asphalt equal problems, according to McBride Motorsports. I think you guys might know this person. I don't.
Yeah, he's Ty. That's Ty. He works here at the shop.
We know everybody. Come on, you got to know all your fans.
He's getting there. Don't worry.
You don't know them.
I'll get there. I'll get there. It's only my second year doing stuff or working with the team. So, but we obviously want to thank Mini USA for continuing to support the racing team. Want to thank all of our sponsors, regardless of who they are. But I know PJ has a few sponsors he'd want to thank if he wants to chime in real quick and just mention a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be where I am doing what I am without them, and I'm so thankful to have such an amazing group of partners and sponsors. Joseph Gas, Tundra Technical Solutions, TalentNet, Cabanos Cheeseburgers, Eventscape, Aletha Corp, ProPrint, Noventa Energy Partners. You always get me on this. I didn't bring my list today.
But you didn't read it off.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Quality Cheese, Canadian Credit Corporation.
Did you get Joseph Gas?
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number one, they actually, Joseph Gas is so amazing. Out of the blue, without even telling me, they did a radio spot on Q107, which is a radio station up here, congratulating us on our wins at Sonoma. I sent it to Lewis and Rob.
That's
awesome.
And I had no idea. Friday, I guess it started airing, and I was getting text messages, phone calls from other partners in the race program saying, "Hey, I just heard your name on the radio." Super cool.
Wow.
And that honestly means the world to me. And that's what my program with my partners is all about. And yeah, and Lewis, thank you. And Christian, thank you. Guys, this is what we planned on doing when we came together and put this together in 2022. And thank you for making it come to fruition. And I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. My sponsors either. They love it. They're so excited about this when we bring home the wins and the victories. And thank you.
Yeah,
You should bring some cheeseburgers sometime.
I would. They're not going to fly well. But honestly, it's the best cheeseburgers. It's the best food.
Hold on. Do you come? Do you drive to Wisconsin or do you?
No, I fly. But I got to throw this in there. My good luck meal before every race weekend, the night before, Cabanos cheeseburger, Cabano burger. It is the chili cheese fries, and then my spouse gets something else, and that's what does it for me. I have to do that. It's my good luck superstition.
Sounds like that company needs just to open up some restaurants in the U.S.
Yeah, well,
I think we need like a team bonding experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if we were racing at Mosport, which I know Greg Gill said something in the drivers' meeting about how I'd love to come back to Mosport. Yes, 100%. And honestly, I would bring literally a cooler bag full of them to keep them warm for you guys. I would.
Well, it's our pleasure, and
Yeah.
you know, we love having you, and I think the entire paddock loves having you, and we've been very fortunate. Lap Motorsports, the mini team in general, we've been very fortunate to have from the beginning to now, like the list of drivers that just have become family,
Mhm.
and that goes for Scott. You're on this side. I can't do it watching the TV.
Just
Scott's
reverse it.
Like the Brady Bunch thing, right?
Or Hollywood Squares.
Someone down here on my screen, but
Or
reverse
Hollywood
it.
Squares. I was thinking Hollywood Squares, except we don't have
Yeah.
enough people to complete it, because then PJ be the center square.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so we're blessed to have the group of guys that we've had for the last 9 years, and now Scott joining us too, and PJ. It's awesome. I just love racing, and it's been a dream to just be able to race with all of you guys all the time, and we have such a good time. Even when we have challenges, it doesn't seem that big of a deal, right? Like everybody's on board, everybody helps, and normally the outcomes are really really good. So I'm just blessed to have you guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
just cutting some onions.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in and joining us this evening on the live stream. If you like what you see, check out more content on our channels. Lots more to come. We're going to have some more short videos on the Mini JCW team site. We also have some, if you're interested in a walk around of the TC cars, check them out on the Miniac. They are pretty impressive cars, and to get a chance to dive into them with the team's crew chief is incredible. Really get an idea of what goes into these cars to make them what they are. At least what we're allowed to show you guys. But but thanks for watching. Lewis, you have one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Yeah, I want to just add, we have a new sponsor on Christian's car, the mini protection program. They came on board. They support the tech program, which is huge. So, it's awesome, and thanks for coming on board if they're watching. The techs were amazing. We had 2 from Hawaii, so that was also really cool to have at Sonoma. And thanks for all of those guys that want to be part of the team, and they worked really hard at changing an engine, and it's sometimes we just don't think we could do this stuff
Was
without.
it like 4 hours they did that or something?
Oh no, we had like 2 hours to do it by the time we decided to change the engine.
Mhm.
And we stopped at like 2 hours and 15 minutes because we didn't make the start. But if they would have continued, thinking that they would get it done, they would have done it in about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they managed to pull off a very fast engine swap.
Yeah. If the engine was dressed,
Yeah.
they could do it in 2 hours, no problem.
And dress means everything's on it. They just pull out the old one, just push it.
Wire harness, it had injectors and fuel rails on it, but it didn't have any of the manifolds or the right turbo. It didn't have the engine wire harness on it. We normally have it. We got to order parts to have our next spare engine completely dressed like we normally do.
Copy.
But so they did an amazing job, and thanks to those guys if they're watching. I look forward to having them back if they want to come back.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Check back in with us after. Well, we're going to have a pretty short turnaround between Sebring and Coda, so we might have to just combine those two or something and just have one big recap of both those races. There's going to be a quick turnaround time. But check back in with us at Sebring and, of course, Coda, because those 2 races are coming up. They're going to be awesome, both of them in May. So we got 2 races in May. Wow. But like I said, if you like what you see, check out more content on our channels. Check our social medias. We got more coming for the racing team. There's definitely a lot to go on in 2024, so it's going to be a great year for all of us all. But thanks for watching. And I always have to say this: life is too short to drive a boring car, so we drive a Mini, right?
Drive a Mini.
Drive a Mini.
Drive a Mini.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.